Oh, we got him. We got him good. Welcome, Patriots, to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, coming to you live across YouTube, Rumble, and X to millions worldwide. And breaking right now, the White House just confirmed what we've been telling you for years. The Russia hoax was Hillary's operation from day one. And, of course, Barack Obama helped execute it. So share the stream right now via text message to bypass big tech censorship. X-viewers, repost this to your followers immediately. We're going to be reading your super chats and Rumble rants between segments, and they're going to feature them on screen for the world to see. So send them in now, even before we dive into today's bombshells. And make sure you're following us on Rumble and X. The links are in the description. The algorithm cannot stop us when you share directly with friends and family. Now, on this day in history, July 31st, 1972, the Democratic National Committee filed suit against Nixon's re-election committee for the Watergate break-in. They claim Republicans were spying on them, stealing documents, and corrupting democracy itself. Sound familiar? Well, because today the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed declassified documents prove Hillary Clinton approved and financed the Russia hoax that nearly destroyed a presidency. The CIA director says that they accelerated the hoax against Trump. The parallels are staggering. What Democrats accused Nixon of doing, they perfected 50 years later. Except this time, they used the FBI, the CIA, and the entire intelligence apparatus to frame their political opponent. The very infrastructure they claimed would protect democracy became their weapon to destroy it. So if you want to support our fight for truth privately, hit those donation links in the description below. Every dollar keeps independent journalism alive when the establishment wants us silenced. And speaking of corruption, Caroline Leavitt just exposed Nancy Pelosi's insider trading empire with devastating numbers. Pelosi makes $174,000 a year, but somehow is $413 million. Her portfolio grew 70% last year alone, doubling Warren Buffett's returns. Elizabeth Warren literally face-planted on the Senate floor, the perfect metaphor for the Democrat establishment's collapse. And Kamala Harris, she won't run for California governor, but drops a hint about a bigger play. And President Trump, well, he's going to be building a 90,000 square foot ballroom while crushing China with tariffs and bringing back the presidential fitness test again to make our kids strong. You can also join our YouTube channel memberships for exclusive perks. Each level unlocks special chat acknowledgement, behind-the-scenes uploads, and access to our members-only 24/7 Discord. Become part of the Next News inner circle and help us build the media empire that terrifies the establishment. So what sets the Raw Feed apart is you, our live chat warriors. We don't just report news, we interact with the viewers in real time, getting your reactions as stories break. Your comments shape the show. Your super chats fund the truth. Your shares bypass the censorship. So check out our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. We've got Alligator Alcatraz Designs, President Otto Pen, and our Badass American Badass series. We're your favorite news source with pride. From Hillary's Russia hoax being officially confirmed by the White House after 9 years of cover-up, to Pelosi's 70% stock returns being exposed, to Warren's humiliating tumble, to Kamala's mysterious book announcement, to Trump's revolutionary transformation of American health, trade, and fitness, today's show exposes the corruption while celebrating the restoration of American greatness. This is more than news. This is history in the making. The deep state's darkest secrets are being dragged into the light by this administration. The architects of the coup are being exposed, and we are here live with you, the digital soldiers, documenting every moment. So buckle up, Patriots. Share the stream. Send those super chats. Join our membership. Visit our merch shop. Support independent media, because the Raw Feed is not just a show. It is a revolution, and it starts right now. Let's welcome you to the show. We got Karen and Robert and Kibbs and Wyatt Earp. Wilson is in the house. We got Moldy Guard is here. Mrs. Pothead Kenny in the house as well. Justin J. Free Spirit Jose is here. Who else is in the house tonight? We got Dennis Anderson, Nugent, Texas. We've got Pothead Kenny. All of us rules. Yes, you do. There are no necessary evils in government. Its evils exist only in its abuses. Andrew Jackson, Truth Matters. Thanks, Gary. Thank you, Robert. We got Bill's Rules in the house. We got Nicole Vandergeest here. We got the Jalapeno Pepper. Cindy, Todd Siegel, what's up? We got Who else is here? Ryan O'Hara, Peter Hansen, John P., Alice Searcy, Antonio Flores, Richard August, Bobby Riesling, Grandma Randall, Bill P., Kenneth Frazier. Everyone is here today. Guys, what a news day. What a news day. Can you tell I'm excited? Oh, I am so excited. And it's going to be a wonderful day. So I'm going to break it all down for you. Before we get into Hillary's Russia hoax files being declassified, here is our trivia question. Who was the first cabinet member in U.S. history indicted while in office? A, Hillary Clinton. B, Ulysses Grant's war secretary. C, Nixon's Cookie Monster. Or D, the Hamburglar. Who was it? The first cabinet member in U.S. history indicted while in office. We're going to find out very soon. You can drop your answer in the poll in the chat or in the comments down below. Brian, if you get that timer up on the screen, that would be swell. Thank you, sir. I'll wait for you before I begin. Did you hear me, Brian? There it is. Thank you. Okay. They buried it for 9 years. They classified it. They threatened whistleblowers who tried to expose it, but now the smoking gun is out. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt just confirmed what the declassified Durham documents prove. Hillary Clinton personally approved and financed the Russia hoax. It's not speculation anymore. It's not conspiracy theory. It's official White House confirmation. The CIA director says, and they quote, accelerated this hoax against Trump. The woman who screamed about Russian interference for years was the one who invented the whole thing. And with your help today, we unmasked her. The Obama administration knew it. They weaponized their intelligence agencies anyway. The president wants these people held accountable. So do we. And what you're about to see will change everything. So stay with us. Now, if you're getting close to retirement or just thinking ahead, you've probably done a solid job of savings. But here is something most people don't consider. How much of that money is just sitting in cash? It might feel safe, but holding too much cash guarantees one thing: you're losing purchasing power. Inflation eats away at it, and the dollar's value keeps slipping. And that's why more people are looking at real assets like physical gold and silver to protect their savings. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy. Visit nextnewsgold.com today. And when you own real assets, you have real wealth. Now let's jump into this here. This is what kicked it all off today. The smoking gun memo exposes Hillary Clinton and Obama's role in orchestrating the Trump-Russia hoax. Declassified memos now confirm what the deep state tried to bury. Hillary Clinton personally approved a plot to frame Trump for Russian election interference to distract from her own missing emails. Barack Obama's intel agencies played along, launching Crossfire Hurricane days later. The plot was designed to make Russians play a U.S. domestic issue and manipulate the media using CrowdStrike and DOJ assets. Hillary's team openly admitted it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. An internal memo reveals they were counting on the FBI to put more oil onto the fire. The result, a multi-year witch hunt, millions of tax dollars wasted, and a nation divided based on a manufactured lie. This wasn't just a dirty trick. It was election interference on a global scale, led by a former Secretary of State and sanctioned by a sitting president. They hijacked our intelligence agencies. They weaponized the press. They targeted an American citizen to cover up their own crimes. The media was in on it. The FBI in on it. Obama was briefed. Hillary authorized it. It's treason. And every journalist who carried water for this operation should be ashamed. Every American who still believes the hoax has been played. Repost if you want Hillary, Obama, and every traitor who pushed this lie held accountable. The truth is no longer a conspiracy theory. It's in their own words. And this is the bombshell memo that was released today. Now, I have some bombshell stuff here because what happened after I took a much closer look at what this document entailed, it became absolutely clear that there was a name listed in this memo. and I was determined to try to find out exactly what was in it. I want to point out this point first. This is Mike Benz. He highlights this sentence, okay? He says, holy effing this in the GD classified index that has been classified for 9 years. This is where they cooked up the critical infrastructure hoax that created the legal predicate to cover for the entire censorship industrial complex. And he highlights this. Say something like a critical infrastructure threat. Say something like it. Russian hackers, it's a critical infrastructure. That is what kicked it all off. But now we also have Chuck Grassley weighing in on the documents. We have senators. We have Trump. We have Caroline Leavitt. But this is the point I wanted to make about this woman right here. We posted it. Julia is her name. We put the word out. We asked everyone on our X account to find her before they do. We now know Hillary Clinton approved a plot to frame Trump using fake Russian interference claims to distract her from her own email scandal. The plan came from someone named Julia, named twice in leaked internal memos. She is the architect of the lie that divided a nation, justified illegal surveillance, weaponized the FBI, and demonized innocent men for years. She must be identified. So we put the word out. We asked everyone, who is Julia? And this is the line. HRC approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympics level. The point is making the Russian play a U.S. domestic issue. Say something like critical infrastructure threat for the election. So we put that word out, and you guys came through. We crowdsourced it, and we got her. The Julia behind the Trump-Russia hoax. Julianne Smith, Clinton's foreign policy advisor, Obama insider, NATO globalist, and was also Biden's ambassador to NATO. Here she is. This is the Clintonista who cooked up the entire lie. Hillary approved it, FBI ran with it, and Trump was framed. Julianne Smith, president of Clarion Strategies. So we decided we would just, let's tweet. Let's post at Julie C. Smith and ask her some questions. Attention. The declassified memo from Leonard Bernardo, dated July 2016, directly references a Julia who proposed framing Trump using Russian hackers aimed to distract from Hillary Clinton's missing emails, predicted the FBI would put more oil on the fire, called it a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. You were Hillary Clinton's foreign policy advisor at the exact time. As a credentialed member of the White House press corps, I'm demanding answers. Did you author this strategy? Was Hillary briefed by you directly? Did you coordinate with U.S. intelligence or media assets? This operation upended a presidency and divided a nation. If you are Julia, this goes far beyond politics. It implicates you in a plot that may rise to the level of sedition or worse. The American people deserve your full public explanation immediately. And we took it a step further because we wanted to really drive the point home. So here she is, a nice mock-up image of Mrs. Smith and her mugshot for seditious conspiracy. Make the image a reality. Repost and demand justice. Julie Smith was Clinton's 2016 foreign policy advisor. Declassified memos now expose Julia as the architect of the Trump-Russia hoax designed to distract Hillary's missing emails and destroy the Trump campaign. Oh, man. So pissed. But I'm so happy. I'm so happy. General Flynn actually reposted it, making it go even further. But let's check in with the White House earlier today when Caroline Leavitt torches Clinton over the Durham memo.
The outcomes.
I want to start with our new media chief, Ben Weingarten. Why don't you go ahead, Ben?
Thank you. In light of the release, the declassification of the annex to the Durham report today, beyond any potential prosecutions, the outcomes of which will likely be uncertain, what does the president believe justice for Russiagate ought to entail? Might it include restitution for those whose lives were upended as a consequence of Russiagate and perhaps a major reorganization of the national security apparatus?
Well, I think a major organization of the national security apparatus, at least here at the White House within the National Security Council, has indeed taken place, and the president entrusts his current CIA director, John Ratcliffe, and our ODNI director, Tulsi Gabbard, to make the necessary changes to ensure classified intelligence, especially that could implement or hurt the national security of our country, does not make its way into the hands of irresponsible actors who want to politicize that intelligence for their own end. Since you brought up the declassification report that was put out by Senator Grassley today, I'm glad you brought it up, because this should be a story every outlet in this room should be covering. This is further evidence that Hillary Clinton approved the Russia hoax against President Trump. Her campaign financed it. Again, she approved it. And the FBI and the CIA were both weaponized to, as our director of CIA has said, accelerate this hoax against then candidate and former President Trump. To answer the heart of your question, the president wants to see justice served, and he trusts the Attorney General and the Department of Justice to implement that justice and hold these people accountable.
One more question, briefly,
Sure.
if I may, on a totally different topic. There's been legislation reintroduced in the House.
Okay, so there you have Caroline Leavitt. Here we have FBI Director Kash Patel. 4 hours ago, we uncovered this annex along with thousands of other documents buried in a back room at the FBI. It revealed a highly classified piece of the Durham report, evidence that the Clinton campaign plotted to frame President Trump and fabricate the Russia collusion hoax. We worked with Chairman Grassley and declassified the documents immediately, and now the American people can see the truth for themselves. The Russia hoax was a disgrace that President Trump and our country should have never been put through. This should be a step towards justice. There will be more to come. Your FBI will keep being relentless to get the truth out. We're thankful for our federal partners at the Justice Department, CIA, and more. Thank you, Chuck Grassley, for your investigative work. So here is Chuck Grassley weighing in on this on Fox.
It actually brings attention to the fact that there was either a Clinton conspiracy to make this happen, or a Russian disinformation. But either way, it was an attempt to stop Trump, and it also proves that the FBI had a hand in it. And now, after these 8 years, 3 years of my trying to get the document, we know that there was the Steele dossier paid for by the Democrats and the Clinton campaign, that it was all effort of total distraction, and to make it look like Russia was playing a very major role in helping Trump to be elected. And now we know none of that was true. And now with this Durham report annex out, it finally proves that the FBI was covering up.
The FBI was covering it up. Hillary Clinton, 100% guilty. Here's more from FBI Director Kash Patel just 49 minutes ago. Good summary of what the FBI found and declassified for the first time ever. More to come. He's quote tweeting Charlie Kirk. Newly declassified documents from Durham report made public by Chuck Grassley indicate the intel community was fully aware of Hillary Clinton's campaign plan to falsely tie President Trump to Russia. Here's what we know. The FBI knew the Russia collusion hoax arose from the Clinton campaign, and they ignored key intel to cover it up. The Clinton campaign's plan was to use or purposely coordinate with the Obama FBI to accelerate the narrative and leak it to U.S. press outlets. The FBI placed thousands of relevant documents in burn bags for destruction, but Kash Patel found them in a secret room of the FBI. Hillary Clinton approved of that plan to concoct a Donald Trump colluding with Russia narrative in order to distract the public from her use of a private email server. The original DNI report from late 2016 rightly said Russia didn't favor Trump and didn't work to elect Trump, even holding back damaging intel on Clinton. Obama nevertheless ordered a new report to be created that tied Trump to Russia. On Obama's direction, Brennan and Clapper manufactured intel and included the Hillary Clinton paid-for Steele dossier in the new report. Despite warnings from CIA analysts it was untrustworthy, Chairman Grassley calls this one of the biggest political scandals and cover-ups in American history, and he's right. So here is the authorized for public release by Chairman Grassley document, report on matters related to intelligence activities and investigation arising out of the 2016 presidential election. These are just some of the pieces of information that have come out, cooked up by Soros even more, and approved by Obama too. March of 2016. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama sanctioned the use of all administrative levers to remove possibly negative effects from the FBI investigation of cases to the Clinton Foundation and the email correspondence in the State Department. George Soros involved as well. Now, we of course want people to be arrested, and I'd love to see this Julie Smith. I'd love to see her be arrested. I could easily see her being the fall guy for everybody else, right? Everyone else is going to walk. They're going to lawyer up. All the deep state safety nets are going to be put into place, and Hillary, Obama won't see justice. But I could easily see this underling being thrown under the bus as the architect. But this is what we've now uncovered, that it was this whole thing originated in her mind, was presented to Hillary, and then Hillary took it to everybody else. Now, let's continue. Here is more Eric Schmidt talking about the bombshell report that shows a George Soros-funded organization worked with Hillary to fabricate the Russiagate hoax.
Americans. A total bombshell today on this Russiagate hoax that gripped the nation for a few years and helped sideline a presidency by the Democrats. Documents revealed today with the cooperation of Chairman Grassley and the FBI reveal that the Open Society Network and Leonard Bernardo worked with Hillary Clinton to create this whole scam, okay? So this critical infrastructure narrative that was used not only to justify the Steele dossier, which then allowed the President Obama to spy on a presidential candidate Donald Trump, was also the predicate then in 2021, because of this Russia hoax, for Joe Biden to censor Americans. This whole thing stinks to high heaven. It starts in 2016, spying on Trump. President Obama then goes along with this, even though he had intelligence briefings saying it wasn't true, Russia wasn't interfering, Donald Trump wasn't bought and paid for. They went with it anyway to help sideline because they didn't like the results of the election. I mean, this stuff is crazy. People need to be held accountable, and now we know why, by the way. They were so committed to making sure President Trump and his team of reformers never got back to the White House because they were going to declassify all this stuff that they did, which is the worst scandal in American history. A total bombshell today on this Russiagate
bombshell after
hoax.
bombshell dropping. Let's continue our investigation. I'm carrying you with me as we go through it all. And now Obama CIA Director John Brennan is in damage control mode after he was exposed as an architect of the Russia collusion hoax. He knows he's been caught. When asked if he's worried, Brennan said the DOJ is going to do what they're going to do. Ha ha, yes, time to lock this guy up.
Understandable.
The Trump administration says it's created what they call a strike force to investigate here. What are your concerns about that? Are you worried?
Well, if the director of CIA and the director of national intelligence make referrals to the Department of Justice, I think the Department of Justice has to do something to respond to it. So putting together an internal strike force, whatever, to take a look at this information is certainly, I think, understandable. But also, I'd like to think that professionals in the Department of Justice will dismiss any of these referrals because they're baseless. They really are. So again, I stand ready to continue to talk about the assessment and what we did during that period of time. There was absolutely no conspiracy. And we continue to stand behind what it is that we have said publicly.
But do you worry at all that the Trump loyalists who are installed in those key positions would find a way to punish you regardless of what the evidence reveals?
Well, I guess they're going to do what they were going to do, Anna. I just feel as though what we did was right. It was legitimate. It was based on our authorities and responsibilities. We would have been derelict if we didn't do these things. So again, I just like to think that, again, professionals in the Department of Justice and FBI and other places are not going to carry on this, what I think is an absurd effort to try to denigrate.
Do you know who he's talking about right there? Listen again.
Do these things. So again, I just like to think that, again, professionals in the Department of Justice and FBI and other places are not going to carry on this,
Okay, who's he talking about? He's talking about the deep state holdovers, the people who are still entrenched in that bureaucracy, who are still dedicated to preserving this lie and seeing these people walk free. He's sending a message right there on MSNBC.
What I think is an absurd effort to try to denigrate the work of intelligence professionals as well as the former leaders.
Speaking of intelligence professionals, NBC News spoke to the former CIA officer who helped oversee that 2017 assessment on Russian interference. And she bluntly says of the current administration, quote, the director of national intelligence and the White House are lying again. We definitely had the intel to show with high probability that the specific goal of the Russians was to get Trump elected. And she added that, you know, Putin and his friends in the Kremlin are probably, quote, toasting vodka shots as we speak at the turmoil this is creating. What are your thoughts on that? Is this all giving Putin cover, even as the president seems to be souring on him a little bit?
I think it has, but what I'm most concerned
So this is where they continue the lie.
about is the impact on the professionals within the CIA, within the intelligence community. This is not something that they deserve to have to deal with. For a current CIA director and a former director basically at odds with one another, I really hope that the leadership is not going to continue along this very political, partisan path in terms of defending Donald Trump.
The Trump administration.
Well, it's time for justice. It is time. And who can ever forget this moment?
Someone fact check him in real time. Last time at the first debate, we had millions of people fact checking. So I expect we'll have millions more fact checking because, you know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Yeah, you would be in jail. And remember, we played the clip yesterday of what President Trump said. He said that, you know, he went soft on her after 2016. He didn't want to put the country through it. But now he's thinking a little bit differently. So maybe jail time for Hillary could be around the corner. I'd love to see it. Not holding my breath, though. Like I said, Miss Julie Smith may end up being the sacrificial lamb for the deep state. Okay, so Brennan and Clapper caught lying again. Apparently they have a op-ed out in the New York Times. Let's set the record straight, but apparently getting obliterated. Here's the truth. They used a Steele dossier in the 2017 ICA. It's right there, Annex A, citing an FBI source. What was that source? Clinton-funded lies. Brennan knew Hillary approved the Trump-Russia smear op. He was warned the dossier was garbage. He pushed it anyway, but doesn't it ring true? That was his standard for launching a national security witch hunt. Then they claimed multiple reviews validated the ICA false. DNI Tulsi Gabbard's July 2025 release exposed that. The ICA relied on an email with no date, no sender, no recipient, and no classification. CIA officers objected to an unclear fragment of a sentence used to imply Putin wanted Trump to win. Brennan overruled them. Other intel showed Russia feared Trump, but that was buried. They say they tried to prevent leaks, another lie. By December 2016, senior Obama officials were leaking to the New York Times and Washington Post, fueling the media blitz that followed. The dossier was strategically inserted into the ICA to give it federal legitimacy, then it leaked. The ODNI official refused to accept the fabricated Russia-Trump link. So what did Brennan and Clapper's team do? They silenced him, locked him out of emails, and finalized the ICA without him. This wasn't a mistake. This was a weaponized intelligence operation to sabotage Trump even before Inauguration Day. And now the architects want to set the record straight. Too late. History will remember Brennan and Clapper not as patriots, but as disgraced spy masters who sold out the Republic to protect the Clintons and crush their enemies. Never forget what they did. Never let them rewrite it. Justice must come. Oh, this is far from over, my friends. Far from over. Here is the day that Hillary Clinton invited George Soros and Media Matters into American politics. Remember this?
Been given an extraordinary blessing. And at this moment in time, our country needs us. And we need people like George Soros, who is fearless and willing to step up when it counts. So please join me in welcoming George Soros.
So if you can see on your screen there, this was back in 2004. The group Campaign for America's Future hosting the event, aired on C-SPAN 2.
I'm very, very proud to be introduced by Hillary. I've seen her in operation. I have great, great admiration for her. I see her deliver a speech in Davos about open society that explained the ideas better than anybody else that I've heard. I've seen her visit Central Asia, where I have foundations, and she was really very effective, more effective than most of our statesmen. And
okay, well, whatever. We're going to shut him down. Sadly, he has offspring. And we have Ben Garrison dropping this beautiful graphic in the head of Hillary Clinton. Yeah, pretty scary sight. Let's keep going here. Clinton campaign reportedly paid tech company to infiltrate Trump Tower. More breaking news. Arrest Hillary Diane Clinton. If I'm indicted, I'll take half of D.C. with me. I don't know if she said that, but I've seen lots of quotes. Raise your hand if you think Hillary Clinton should be prosecuted and imprisoned for the Russia hoax. I'm raising my hand. I am. Because you'd be in jail. 8 hours ago, Tulsi Gabbard releasing this. New whistleblower reveals how they were threatened by a supervisor to go along with the Obama-directed Russia hoax intelligence assessment, even though they knew it was not credible or accurate. The whistleblower refused. Yesterday, we released the whistleblower's first-hand account of what happened in the crafting of the January 2017 ICA, their years-long effort to expose the egregious manipulation and manufacturing of intelligence carried out at the highest levels of government, and the IC detailed in our previous releases and how they were repeatedly ignored. Thank you to this courageous whistleblower and others who are coming forward now, putting their own well-being on the line to defend our democratic republic, ensure the American people to know the truth, and hold those responsible accountable. And here is, you can see right here, this is the actual explosive story. Aaron Matei writes, this takes me back. Oops, here's the CIA from 10 hours ago. The CIA and DOJ's declassification of the Durham Report Appendix, along with DNI's efforts, further advances President Trump's directive for maximum transparency and fulfills Senator Grassley's request for disclosure. Aaron Mate, this takes me back to the qualified ambiguous Mueller language I highlighted in my RC Investigates report. CrowdStrike out, the attribution of DNC hacking to Russia is tentative and appears at least partly based on interference and not hard evidence. Oh, my Lord. So you guys were all part of exposing this woman, Julia, today, and I'm really proud of you guys for heeding the call, for digging into the record, making it known that this line right here, this line right here, HRC approved of Julia's idea. Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering in the United States election. We found it. We investigated. And now we know exactly who was behind it. And like I said, I think she's going to be the fall guy for this. I'm also positive that we haven't heard the last from Julia. I tried tracking down her phone number today through her consulting group. It was very difficult to do. It was just a stupid web form, and I had no idea, no intention of sending an email that would go to nowhere. So it was very hard to find the actual telephone number to call and get comment. But maybe that's the next question we'll crowdsource. So we're not over. This isn't over. Justice has yet to be served. And if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this changes everything, right? For 9 years, they told us Trump colluded with Russia. They impeached him. They destroyed lives. They censored anyone who questioned the narrative. And I believe it goes all the way to what happened in Butler. But now we have White House confirmation. Hillary Clinton approved and financed the hoax to frame Trump. And Caroline Leavitt said it clearly. Her campaign financed it. Again, she approved it. The CIA director confirmed that they accelerated the hoax. Obama's team knew it was fake. They pushed it anyway. They turned our intelligence agencies into political weapons. This is not just corruption. It is treason, sedition. The same people who lecture us about democracy tried to overturn an election with fabricated evidence. The president wants justice served through the DOJ. So the question is simple. Will Hillary Clinton finally be prosecuted for orchestrating the Russia hoax? Yes or no? Drop your answers in the comments below. And check out our merch shop, linked in the description. Real news for real patriots, where you can trigger a liberal today at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. All right, I got some super chats to dig in before we get to our answer of the trivia question. Looks like we have Elf of Courage. Bury my beer at Wounded Knee. Elizabeth Warren's story. $10. Thank you. Wyatt Earp. Gary is the real stud. Howdy, brother. What's up, Wyatt? Good to see you. Curio23. Why are alligators long and green? Because if they were short and green, they would be leprechauns. Gary, you have a magnificent team working with you. Thank you, Curio. Elf of Courage back again with $4.99. Julian Assange would fill in the gaps of the D class with intel he got from Seth Rich. Justice for Assange, justice for Seth Rich. Amen. R. Boyd gifting 5 Next News Network memberships to AJ Cruz. Less is more, soaps and more. Maine Arbor, Big Boom, and Better Tomorrow. All welcome to the family. Okay, let's get to the answer of our trivia question. I know you guys are dying to find out. You guys said Ulysses Grant's war secretary. You were right. The first cabinet member in U.S. history indicted while in office, Ulysses Grant War Secretary William Belknap, was indicted in 1876 for taking bribes. He resigned hours before impeachment. Sound familiar? Okay, we're going to get to our next topic of the evening about Elizabeth Warren having a little mishap. And it was all caught on camera. But also what happened with Nancy Pelosi today. All right, let's get to our trivia question. Which senator famously claimed Native American heritage for career advancement? Oh, this is going to be easy. Was it A, Elizabeth Warren, B, Sitting Bull's accountant, C, chief running joke, or D, Pocahontas yoga instructor? All right. You guys can answer in the chat, in the comments, or in the poll. All right, let's get to our next topic here. The establishment is literally falling apart. Yesterday, Elizabeth Warren crashed to the Senate floor like her fake heritage claims, but that's only the beginning. Nancy Pelosi just got ambushed by CNN, of all places, about her insider trading, and her response exposes everything. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt dropping the bomb. Pelosi makes $174,000 a year, but has $413 million? Her stock picks grew 70% in 2024 alone. She outperformed every single large hedge fund and doubled Warren Buffett's returns. The PELOSI Act just passed committee, ready to ban congressional trading forever. Even the White House is pointing fingers at Nancy. Meanwhile, Warren's faceplant went viral with Ted Cruz rushing to help. The Democrats are collapsing under their own corruption, so keep on watching. Now, if you're getting close to retirement or just thinking ahead, you've probably done a solid job of saving. But here is something most people don't consider. How much of that money is just sitting in cash? Well, it might feel safe, but holding too much cash guarantees one thing: you're losing purchasing power, because inflation eats away at it, and the dollar's value keeps slipping. And that's why more people are looking at real assets like physical gold and silver to protect their savings. Noble Gold Investment makes it easy. Visit nextnewsgold.com. And when you own real assets, you have real wealth. You can call that number on the screen, also 877-646-5347. Now, we've got a lot to get to. We do have the footage, though, of the real reason why Elizabeth Warren, much closer inspection of the fall, apparently Eric Swalwell was nearby. Let's take a look at the footage.
Baldwin turning in the affirmative. Baldwin, Rochester, turning in the affirmative. Baldwin, Rochester.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't help myself. All right, let's go. Let's go to the real footage. This is what really happened. She's standing there.
Senators
picking her
voting in
butt.
the affirmative.
She waves.
Baldwin, Blunt, Rochester.
Oh,
Durbin,
and down she goes.
Heinrich.
Down she goes. Oh,
Hirono,
Ted Cruz
Kane.
to the rescue, going to pick her up. But that's only the beginning. Let's take a look at what happened at the White House just a few hours ago. Our cameras were there to capture it all. Nancy Pelosi's 2024 stock portfolio jumping 70%, surpassing every hedge fund. Caroline Leavitt slamming the insider edge. Trump calls for a total ban on congressional trading. Listen.
Ensuring that
You talked with the president about his position on the stock trading ban bill for Congress. He obviously had pretty loaded comments about Senator Hawley. There's some reporting that they've since spoken. What is his position on the current status of that bill?
the president has spoken to Senator Hawley, who called him, and the president took that call. As the president said in the Roosevelt Room yesterday, conceptually, he of course supports the idea of ensuring that members of Congress and United States senators who are here for public service cannot enrich themselves. And the reason that this idea to put a ban on stock trading for members of Congress is even a thing is because of Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she is rightfully criticized because she makes, I think, $174,000 a year, yet she has a net worth of approximately $413 million. In 2024, Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio, this was a fascinating statistic to me, grew 70% in 1 year in 2024, and her portfolio outperformed every single large hedge fund in that same year, and even more than doubled the returns of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. So I think the president stands with the American people on this. He doesn't want to see people like Nancy Pelosi enriching themselves off of public service and ripping off their constituents in the process. As for the mechanics of the legislation and how it will move forward, the White House continues to be in discussions with our friends on Capitol Hill.
Clearly, the White House saw my interview with Ross Givens, where he broke that news just a few weeks ago. Remember that? Oh, yeah. Yes, we broke that news. And yes, the White House pays very close attention to everything that we publish, to the point where we've even been featured in official White House promotional videos. Isn't that something? Okay, but we also have, before we get to Pelosi, let's jump in and see what President Trump had to say 24 hours ago. Trump now calling for an investigation into Pelosi for insider trading because her returns are too high. Listen.
So in that sense, I like it conceptually. And, you know, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen? It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up. I like it conceptually. And, you know, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen? It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up. I like it conceptually. And, you know, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy.
Okay, so let's go and take a listen to Nancy Pelosi's reaction, of all places on CNN. Turd Tapper himself actually asked the question. You can see Nancy getting all aggravated, and look at her face contorting. She's all twisted. You want to hear what she has to say? Oh, yes, of course you do. CNN asking Pelosi about insider trading allegations. Turd tapper for the win.
The trading of...
It was. But let me just read what he said. I'm sorry that we had some sort of technical issue. Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
But I
and
wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong if they...
Did you notice that? She didn't refer to the name of the bill. What's the name of the bill? It's called the PELOSI Act. Imagine having a bill named after your own insider trading to stop you from insider trading, and she's being asked on CNN about her insider trading. Oh, man. Talk about having to dance around the name of a bill. Let's go back.
In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are prosecuted and they go to jail. But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have no concern about the obvious investments that had been made over time. I'm not into it. My husband is, but it isn't anything to do with anything insider. But the president has his own exposure, so he's always projecting. He's always projecting. And let's not give him any more time on that, please. We're going forward here, and I'm very proud of my family. And while he might make fun of us, while somebody inspired by him breaks into our home and hits my husband in a deadly fashion, hits my husband over the head, and he thinks that's a riot, I'd rather not go into some of my other complaints about him right now. Rather to talk about the 60th anniversary.
Yeah. Forget about it. Okay, here is the shocking moment. Senator Rick Scott came out hard against the ban on congressional stock trading. The idea that we're going to attack people because they make money is wrong. Uh-oh, Rick Scott is against it?
Background. So this idea that we're going to attack people because they make money is wrong. Is absolutely wrong. We should cherish all of our different backgrounds. Every one of us has a different background. I've got a business background. But what I was just accused of is making money, and somehow I can't be fair and do things the right way.
Well, Senator, I do have to point out that you guys all have privileged information, and that you have the ability to trade on that information before specific bills or executive orders are signed or passed. So you kind of have an unfair advantage.
So I think it's disgusting what is going on here. So this idea that we're going to attack people.
Yeah. Okay. See, it's happening on all sides, folks. It's not just Pelosi. It's not just it's not just Republicans or Democrats. They're all doing it. Let's take a flashback to Nancy Pelosi on banning stock trading for Congress.
And their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress?
No, I don't know to the second one. We have a responsibility to report in the stock, on the stock, but I'm not familiar with that 5-month review, but if people aren't reporting, they should be. Because this is a free market and we're a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
Yeah, but of course you do have inside information. Okay, I think we did play that clip of Caroline Levitt. Didn't we already play that clip? Yeah, we did. We did play that clip. Okay, my bad. Here is Senator Josh Hawley talking about it.
Say that we have an opportunity here today to do something that the public has wanted us to do for decades, and that is to ban members of Congress from profiting on information that, frankly, only members of Congress have in the buying and selling of stock. 86% of Americans say that members of Congress should not be able to buy and sell shares of stock, individual stock, while they are members of this body, and they are absolutely correct. And the reason is, you can see it, there was just another ethics referral in the House last week. We've seen the former Speaker of the House make millions of dollars in profits. We've seen members of both parties, I'm sad to say, be investigated for their stock trades. And the reason for all of this is that, quite frankly, members of this body are privy to information that the normal person just is not. Now, is that insider trading? It is not under the laws. Sometimes people say, well, we already have insider trading laws. We don't need a stock ban. Well, the information that members of Congress are privy to is technically not covered by the insider trading laws, but nobody really believes that the information that we get isn't valuable. It is quite valuable, which is why back during COVID, you saw members of Congress of both parties engage in a flurry of stock trading right after they were getting COVID briefings. Were members of the public getting those briefings? They were not. Were members of the public privy to the kind of information that was being given to members of Congress? No, they were not. And so when you look at what members of Congress are privy to, what they are able to trade on, the access that they have, it's just qualitatively different than your average Joe or Jane, which is why we ought to put into place common sense guardrails that say, if you want to be a member of Congress, you can put you want to save, great. You can buy mutual funds, you can buy broadly diversified investment vehicles. You should not be able to buy and trade individual stock shares, in which, frankly, we have an interest in the work that we do. We have information that no other people get, no other members of the public have. This bill would finally redress that. Say that we have an
It's called the PELOSI Act. You got to love it, right? Okay, let's keep going. White House points the finger at Nancy Pelosi today. Oh, yes, they did. Yesterday, senators struck a deal to ban congressional stock trading. Since we run the Pelosi tracker and built the first way to automatically copy their trades, we thought we'd chime in. Here's everything we know. And why blind trusts are banned as well. Good. This is all good news, and such a sad moment for...
Voting in the affirmative. Baldwin, Rochester, voting in the affirmative.
And such a sad moment for Pocahontas Warren. If you got value from this report, tab subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, Nancy Pelosi just got exposed by the White House itself. When CNN's own Turd Tapper asked about insider trading, she panicked. Why? Because Caroline Leavitt revealed the truth. Pelosi's portfolio grew 70% in 1 year. She makes $174,000 but has $413 million. She outperformed every large hedge fund and doubled Warren Buffett. The president says that he conceptually supports banning congressional stock trading because of people like Pelosi enriching themselves off public service and ripping off their constituents. The PELOSI Act would end this corruption forever. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Warren's physical collapse mirrors her party's moral collapse. She spent decades lying about her heritage. Now she's literally falling while attacking Trump's economy. They preached about inequality while building personal fortunes through insider trading. So here's the question. Should Congress be banned from trading stocks immediately? Yes or no? Let us know in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation. And if you want to support our investigation into the AutoPen scandal, or if you want to support the efforts of Ron DeSantis and that all-inclusive resort Alligator Alcatraz, exclusively for illegals, with its own runway and lush, lazy river, you can get your Alligator Alcatraz shirt, or just pick your favorite member of the administration at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.
Baldwin, voting in the affirmative. Baldwin, Rochester, voting in the affirmative. Baldwin.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't help myself. I love that meme. It's so funny. Marshmallow, thank you, Gary. Appreciate your vids and your news. Thank you for your support and sending in $10 in super chats. We're at $39.97. Are we going to crack 100 today? That would be nice. I would love it if we were able to crack 100 today. And then I can go tell Angie. Okay, speaking of Angie, one moment. Angie's on the show right now. Everybody say hi to Angie. Angie, say hi to everybody.
What's going good. Hi, everyone. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, well,
I'm
welcome.
finally back.
Look who's back. Back again. Angie's
That's
back.
right.
Tell a friend.
It's a sneak attack.
Yeah. Potty Kenny says, tell Angie we love her. Potty Kenny says, tell Angie we love her.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Hi, Angie. Oi, Angie. Hey, Angie. Hola, Angie. Hi, Angie. Hi, Angie. Hello, Angie. We miss you. Angie. Everyone's screaming your name right now in the chat room.
Oh, I wish you guys could see my face. I'm blushing right now and smiling so big.
Oh, honey. Well,
Hey, I just want to say thank everyone.
I could send you the link, and you could join in. You can say hello to everybody, but that's only if you're comfortable.
Thank you.
We're in the middle of a segment right now, so.
Okay, well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I love sharing Gary with you.
All right, honey. I'll talk to you
Have a
later.
great night.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Okay, Angie's back. Back again. Okay. Let's find out what the answer to that question was. Which senator famously claimed Native American heritage for career advancements? Elizabeth Warren. You guys got it right. She claimed Cherokee heritage for decades. DNA tests showed 1,000th ancestry. And we're all still waiting for that apology, aren't we? Okay, let's go into our next subject because America is getting healthy again. President Trump, RFK Jr., lots of great stuff happening today. We're going to break it all down for you in just a second here. Let me find the first. There we go. Oh, wait, yeah. Trivia question. Whoops. Which president created the original Presidential Physical Fitness Award? A, Dwight D. Eisenhower. B, Theodore Jimbro Roosevelt. C, William Big Mac Taft. Or D, Abraham Lincoln's personal trainer. Let's see what you guys come up with on that one. And let's get into our segment. America's kids are about to get a wake-up call. President Trump just announced he's bringing back the presidential fitness test to every school in the nation. Remember those pull-ups and sit-ups and mile runs that separated the strong from the weak? Well, they're coming back, but this isn't just about gym class. Trump's signing an executive order with legendary athletes to launch a total health revolution. From big pharma price controls to big tech health tracking, from school cafeterias to digital medical records, everything's changing. Some see opportunity, others, well, they see Big Brother. Secretary Kennedy says that we're going to make America healthy again. The fitness test is only the beginning. What comes next may just shock you, so don't go anywhere. Now, if you're getting close to retirement or just thinking ahead, you've probably done a solid job of saving. But here's something most people don't consider. How much of that money is sitting in a cash safe? Well, it might feel safe, but holding too much cash guarantees only one thing. You are losing purchasing power every time they print more. Yes, inflation eats away at it, and the dollar's value keeps slipping. That's why more people are looking at real assets like physical gold and silver to protect their savings. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy. Visit nextnewsgold.com. And when you own real assets, you have real wealth. You can also call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. And when they pick up the phone, tell them that Gary Franchi sent you. Okay, before we get into the big news about the sports and the physical fitness test, we have this just in from the press office. Our cameras were there exclusively capturing this angle. No one has this angle but us because we are White House credentialed outlet. Caroline Leavitt, Brown University banned from trans procedures. Trump administration halts puberty blockers, gender surgeries, and racial quotas at Brown. Levitt says this is part of a larger plan to end the chemical castration of minors nationwide. Listen.
Off the funding. Elizabeth.
Thanks, Caroline. Part of the settlement with Brown prohibits it from performing transgender procedures or prescribing hormone puberty blockers, that type of thing. Will eliminating these types of procedures be a priority for the Trump administration in negotiations with other universities?
I can tell you that ending the chemical castration of children in our country is a priority of this administration. We've talked to many of these universities about it, but the president has also taken very strong action to cut off the funding for any medical institution in this country that provides those barbaric procedures. The Brown University agreement, since you brought it up, is yet another win to root out anti-Semitic behavior on our nation's college campuses and unlawful racial discrimination. Brown has agreed to no longer allow unlawful racial discrimination in admissions or university programming. They have agreed to provide access to all relevant data and information to rigorously assess compliance with its commitment to merit-based admissions, and they will pay $50 million over 10 years to state workforce development organizations that comply with anti-discrimination laws, supporting regional economic growth and career opportunities. Brown will also adopt the definitions of male and female from President Trump's executive order, defending women and gender ideology extremism for women's sports, programming, facilities, and housing. Brown will no longer perform gender reassignment surgeries on minors or prescribe them puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones. And Brown will take steps to improve the campus climate for Jewish students and combat anti-Semitism on their campus. This is yet another huge win for American students and for those who love our country and want to abide by our country's laws. On the topic of defending women from gender ideology extremism and helping women's sports, the president will be signing an executive order at 4 o'clock today with some very famous professional athletes whom I'm sure you all know. And that executive order will be focused on strengthening athletics in our country and making America healthy again. And we are going to re-implement the presidential fitness test in America's schools, which is, I think, something all Americans can get behind. So you'll hear from the president in 2 hours, and we will see you all there. Thank you.
And that concluded the press conference that we were at today. So flash forward to the moment when she said President Trump would be talking about it. Well, here he is.
I'm pleased to announce that we're officially restoring the presidential fitness test and the presidential fitness award, and it's going to be a very big thing. From the late 1950s until the 2013, graduate scholars all across our country competed against each other in the presidential fitness test, and it was a big deal. This was a wonderful tradition, and we're bringing it back. I'm pleased to announce.
We are bringing it back, baby. Do you remember taking that test? I do. I totally do. Okay, let's keep going. Here we have more. President, this is Bryson Deck. We have an opportunity of it being the 7th ever. Okay.
I never would have. First off, I'd like to say thank you to President Trump and Vice President Vance for your support and this initiative and council. And to be honest, I never would have thought that this opportunity would have been here right at our doorstep. We have an opportunity at being the 70th anniversary of the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition to literally change the fabric of kids' lives. And our first initiative is to bring back and reignite the President's Fitness Test, and then also reestablish some key other metrics on guidelines around building some communities, and also, again, with the President's initiatives around college, we think we can help in that regard too. But we've got a great established council with us that we believe we can change the fabric of our communities and kids' livelihoods for the future generations that are to come. I can't thank you guys enough, and looking forward to making massive changes in kids' lives and in our America's future. Thank you. First off,
we are making America healthy again. Here's where President Trump is talking about sports being so important.
Playing sports.
What has sports meant to you? And did you have a sports hero growing up?
Maybe Lawrence Taylor. I don't know. It could be Lawrence. Or I know him so well. Well, a lot of sports heroes. It meant a lot. I was always a person that loved playing sports. I was good at sports. When you were really focused on sports, you thought about nothing else. There was nothing else outside. it kept you. And to an extent, this is one of the reasons I like golf. You get away for a couple of hours. I play quickly and get through it. And for 2 hours, you're not thinking about all of the nonsense and all of the important things, frankly, but it cleans your mind. No, I think sports is so important. I think what this council is doing is going to be very important. And it gives you a little exercise, sometimes a lot of exercise. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. Sports are, you learn about people and you learn about how people compete. Now, it doesn't mean that if somebody's not a good athlete, a lot of people just are not good athletes, so they can't compete. But you learn about people playing sports and playing sports with and against some. So I've always loved it. It's been very important to me. These people are, inspirations. These are the top people in their individual sports. The council itself, I mean, they have some of the greatest champions, for the most part, the greatest champions in their sport. So they really understand sports, and understanding it's very important. Thank you for the question. Yep.
Let's keep going. We got some more to get to in this segment. Here we have Triple H.
Thank you for this honor. First of all, I'd like to say the same. Thank you to President Trump. Thank you for this honor. I'm humbled by it. I'm truly honored to be on this. Vice President Vance, thank you very much. Secretary Kennedy, truly appreciate all that everybody is doing for the health and wellness of the entire country. For me, since I was 14, this has been such an important part of my life. Health, fitness, sports, nutrition, all of it. I think learning that at a young age sets you up for success in life. And without it, you're at a lesser place for it. So I look forward to the opportunity to do this. I look forward to the opportunity to help make our youth healthy, help get them engaged in sports, and let them learn what it takes to be successful in life. So thank you very much for the honor. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you.
We've also got this just in from RFK. The White House just posting this. Make health tech great again. Thanks to President Trump, patients will finally have access to their medical records.
Access to real.
Thanks to President Trump, patients will finally have access to their medical records.
If we want MAHA to really work, we want to make Americans healthy again, we've got to give them individualized power over their own health records so they can make good decisions about what they eat, how they sleep.
We at Oracle are thrilled to be part of the change. We're thrilled to enable the technology to make it just as easy for all of the patients in the United States to get their health record as is to get any other piece of information.
We need to think about this data as an interconnected ecosystem so that anywhere you are, at any place, you can get access to real-time medical advice.
This is an experience that we're excited to bring to healthcare as well. We're excited to collaborate with CMS to make that happen.
This is a first step in getting greater visibility for our patients into their own medical records.
Thanks to the Trump administration and what Dr. Oz and Secretary Kennedy are doing, patients are finally able to have access to their medical records.
My daughter has a rare disease. She sees 12 different doctors and has over 40 patient portals. And after this initiative, she'll be able to take out her phone and tap it at the doctor's office to share her records instantly.
For too long, Americans have waited to find out if they can get a doctor's appointment or whether they get a bill from the hospital they can afford to pay or whether they can even pick up the medications in the pharmacy. That's all changing. Today, we are using technology like all other sectors of the economy have used it to actually improve the quality of the experience for the American people.
Until it gets hacked. Yeah. I mean, it's great to have all of our medical records, at our fingertips. But what happens when someone hacks the system, right? Or what if Big Brother starts watching? What if this, administration passes and now we have a corrupt administration willing to exploit your medical records, right? I mean, yeah, it sounds great, but you got to also look at the big picture. Trump revives the presidential fitness test, putting weakness on notice. Here we have, this is Vivek Ramaswamy. He was big on this back in February.
to early childhood. And that's what we owe to our kids, to make sure we give them the very best possible teachers who teach them to excel in the subjects that actually matter. Not just reading, writing, and math, but also physical education. We're going to bring back PE into early childhood education, starting in kindergarten. We're going to bring back the presidential fitness test in middle schools. And yes, that includes the pull-ups that we had to do back when we were going through that, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing. We're going to serve healthier foods in our public school cafeterias. Because the best way to save on health costs in the long run is to have a healthier population in the first place. Not just physical health, but that includes mental health too. And that's
I mean, I can already hear the groans coming from every student across the land. See, they don't even understand what this means. But you and I do. Oh, yes, I remember those pull-ups. I remember having to run that mile. I remember having to do the sit-ups at the pull-up station. Remember those wooden pull-up stations, right? And you'd put your feet underneath it, and you'd do the sit-ups, and then you'd go and you'd do the pull-ups, and then you'd go out to the track behind the school, and you have to run, right? Yeah, I remember. I also remember back in high school when kids, you know, that when we didn't complete the mile. Like I would personally, like just push it off, like just not do it until the gym teacher was so frustrated. He's like, "Look, guys, just go out there with a stopwatch and just time yourselves." So there was a big group of us that went out there behind the school on the football track, and some of the kids were just walking around the track smoking cigarettes. I'll never forget it. But that wasn't me, though, I don't think. Could have been. Okay, back to this. Here is Senator Kennedy 6 hours ago. Thank you, POTUS. With your leadership, we're going to make America healthy again. And this is more from the White House talking about the CMS digital health tech ecosystem to give healthcare providers, insurers, and software companies the tools they need to empower Americans. CMS means Content Management System. So your health is content to be managed.
We're opening up. Mr. President, today we are making American health technology remarkably great again.
We're officially launching the CMS digital health tech ecosystem to give healthcare providers, insurers, and software companies the tools they need to empower Americans with a 21st century experience on health.
The average Americans are tired. They're tired of waiting for access to their medical records. They're also tired of waiting for Washington to take action.
We're opening up the playing field so that the best tools can scale, compete on value, and discover new methods for making Americans healthy again.
Doctors and patients will always remain in control. We will save time, we'll save money, and most importantly, we'll save lives.
President Trump, you've asked us to think big. You've inspired us to dream big. And with your leadership, we're going to make America healthy again.
There you have the White House official video. Let's see what else have we got here. Okay, let's see here. Letters to Novartis, Bristol Myers, and Squibb. Okay, so President Trump issued letters, 17 letters to drug manufacturers outlining steps they must take to bring down prescription drug prices. If they refuse to step up, the administration will use every tool to protect Americans from continued abusive drug pricing practices. The White House, this was brought up at the press conference today. Let's see what we have here. Trump administration launching new health data tracking initiative, partnering with big tech firms like Google, Oracle, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and OpenAI to collect and integrate America's personal medical information through private apps and platforms. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, that's kind of scary if you ask me. But at least he's sending letters to Big Pharma to reduce drug prices for Americans. I know a lot of you guys out there are hearing that and cheering that on. But I don't know about the kids. I don't think they even know what's coming in the next school year. It's just around the corner. I'm going to have to talk to my children about that. If you got a value from this report, tab subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, this is bigger than push-ups and pull-ups. Trump's fitness revolution targets the root of America's health crisis. Kids addicted to screens will face physical standards again. The presidential fitness test returns to expose weakness and reward strength. But look a little bit deeper. Trump sent letters to 17 big pharma giants demanding they slash drug prices or face consequences. He's launching a digital health ecosystem with Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and OpenAI tracking your medical data. Now, some call it personalized medicine. Others warn it's surveillance on steroids. Brown University just agreed to end transgender procedures on minors after federal pressure. Media Matters is getting shut down. Physical fitness, pharmaceutical reform, and digital health fusion all launching simultaneously. It's not random. It's coordinated. The question, do you trust big tech with your health data? If it means cheaper drugs and personalized treatment, drop a yes or a no. Let's continue this conversation in the comments below. And you can show your American strength with Next News merch at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. We got President Auto Pen, Alligator Alcatraz. We got the American Badass series where you can trigger a liberal today at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. All right, no super chats to speak of at the moment. Where do we stand right now? Let's see. We're at only 39.97. No one's stepping up to the plate. I mean, we got Marshmallow. Marshmallow's chipping in. We've got Elf of Courage and Curio, Wyatt Earp. All these guys chipping. Our boy giving out gifts. Are we not performing for you guys? Are you not entertained? Okay, let's get to our trivia answer. What is the answer? Which president created the original physical fitness award? Was it? Oh, yes, it was Dwight D. Eisenhower. Created it in 1956 after being shocked by American kids failing fitness tests. And Trump is bringing it back in 2025.
You said people gonna die?
Well, I hope not. I hope not. All right, let's go to our next because we got to talk about Kamala Harris. We got to talk about Mel Gibson. We got to talk about Gavin Newsom. But first, a trivia question. Which vice president wrote a book after losing their presidential campaign? Was it A, Al Gore with Earth in the Balance? D, Dan Quayle's coloring book? C, Mike Pence's How to Hang Around? Or D, Biden's Where Am I, a memoir? I wonder which one it is. You guys can all weigh in the comments, in the chat, or in the poll. It'll be up in just a moment. But first, we're going to get to our topic. And Newsom and Kamala. Kamala Harris just made a move that nobody saw coming. She won't run for governor in California. Kevin Dalton called it a perfectly dodged bullet. California. But she's not retiring. She's releasing a book called 107 Days about her campaign disaster. Her cryptic message, what the world saw was only part of the story. Polymarket is buzzing with bets that she'll announce a presidential run this year. Laura Ingraham says that Harris will have plenty of time to testify about Biden's cognitive decline. House Republicans are preparing subpoenas. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom's drowning in wildfire scandals, and Mel Gibson is now calling for federal investigation with California's top Democrats imploding. Where is Kamala heading? Well, the answer might just terrify you, so stay tuned. And if you're getting close to retirement or just thinking ahead, you've probably done a solid job of saving. But here's something most people don't consider. How much of that money is just sitting in cash? It might feel safe, but holding too much cash guarantees only one thing. You are losing purchasing power. Inflation eats away at it, and the dollar's value keeps slipping. And that's why more people are looking at real assets like physical gold and silver to protect their savings. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy. Visit nextnewsgold.com. And when you own real assets, you have real wealth. You can also call the number on the screen, 877-646-5347. When you talk to Colin, tell him Gary said hi. The link is in the description. So, I always love it when I see Mel Gibson behind a microphone, the amazing writer, actor, director. Well, he took the podium to slam Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. Says they're going to steal the Pacific Palisades, their land, the homeowners' land. Calls for a federal investigation into Gavin Newsom. Listen.
Newsom wants to do the Maui plan. What do you think the Maui locals think of the Maui plan? Yeah. I'm sorry, there aren't any more locals living there anymore. They all had to leave town. Do you think the people of the Palisades or Altadena are going to be consulted about how their areas are reimagined by Newsom and Bass?
No.
Huh?
Absolutely.
This is a conspiracy.
No. It'll be more like the chairman Maui plan.
They want to use you to get what they want and then throw you away.
Yeah. I mean, one of the most pathetic and despicable things I've seen was when Karen Bass, in order to shift the blame and culpability from herself, wiped it on the fire chief and threw her under the bus for speaking the truth about how the department had been defunded and were without resources. They didn't even have water. Now Gavin has asked for $40 billion of federal dollars to do whatever he has in mind. Yeah. Why would we trust him with that kind of funding? See, along with that federal money should come a federal investigation into what the heck happened. You know, for a few pennies more. A federal investigation. I mean, Karen is, she's having an investigation into why she made the decision to go to Ghana. Which is absurdity on 4 legs. Federal investigation, yep. We should have one of those to see what the heck happened, and a further federal oversight to see what happens with any federal funding that we get, so that we have transparency, that it's audited. Not because he's doing it, but because anyone's doing it. Because hopefully he won't be there anymore. Amen to that. We need to see what's happening with our money, with our federal dollars. California deserves leadership that does more than acknowledge a problem. It deserves leaders who take real, meaningful steps towards addressing these threats to our community. You deserve better. Our firefighters deserve better. And above all, the people who've lost everything deserve better.
Yeah, right.
It's time for accountability. It's time for leadership that doesn't wait until it's too late.
Fair election.
And most of all, it's time for the government that stands with its people, not just in words.
Right. Right.
They got to go through the motions, you know, do something meaningful, build back better. Anyway. Thank you. That's about all I have to say. I think it's enough. Should be enough to get me in trouble.
Now for governor! Now for governor! Now for governor!
I'd now like to introduce you to Randy Economy. He was
Mel for governor. That's kind of got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Well, that is only the beginning. President Trump asked a question about Kamala Harris's political future. Let's find out. This just in about 3 hours ago.
Last name, you.
Mr. President, Kamala Harris, as you know, is not running for governor of California. She's not going to do it. What do you see in her political future, sir?
Well, she can't speak. She can't talk. She can't do an interview. I thought it was a very strange campaign that we had. But, you know, I had 2 of them. We were up by like this massive number of points on Biden, and they said, let's change to Kamala. Nobody knew who Kamala was. Nobody knew her last name, Harris. And they said, we're going to get Vice President Harris. Everyone said, who the hell is Harris? They only knew her by the first name. But no, I thought she was a terrible candidate. Look, don't forget, she didn't really get the nomination. I mean, that whole nomination was strange. She was the first one out. You know, she took a good amount of points with her when she announced, but nobody knew her. And once they got to know her, she dropped out very shortly after she started. And she started with a pretty good, you know, she was like in 2nd or 3rd place. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't call her a skilled politician. Would you?
She's also coming out with a book. Any plans to buy it?
I don't know. I think I'm going to buy it. I'd love to see it. No. I'd find it. Look, I find everything in politics interesting. I sort of enjoy politics. She wasn't a skilled person. You know, you have skilled politicians, really skilled politicians, and then you have some that aren't. And she was put in a very tough position, I think. She did have a 6-week honeymoon. They were told me, the pros said, you know what, she's going to have a 6-week. And she did. She was like untouchable in terms of everybody thought great. But she didn't do any interviews or anything, which was strange. Not even friendly interviews with friendly reporters like her right there, a really friendly reporter. And you know what happened? People said, what's wrong with her? Why isn't she doing? She made a mistake. She should have done interviews. She didn't run a great campaign, but we beat Biden, and then we had to beat, nobody's beaten two. I had to beat two. That's like Dana White, the great Dana White has a fight, and he has a fighter that's getting the hell knocked out of him. They say, well, let's take him out and put somebody else in. Didn't seem fair to me at the time, but where are we? We're in the White House. So, I mean, you know, so it worked out.
Yeah, it certainly did. What's this? Kamala Harris, is she drunk again? What happened here?
So where we see things that are being taken.
Okay, so this was February 15th, 2025.
We see things that are being taken. But also let's see it as, you know, nature abhors a vacuum. So where there's a vacancy, then let's fill it. Right? And let's know that the reality is that the progress of our nation has always been about the expansion of rights, not the restriction of rights. We're seeing a U-turn right now, but we have to keep fighting for those rights to be maintained, which means we have to be vigilant. And it's just the...
Yeah, okay. Yeah. More word salad from Kamala Harris. That's all she's pretty much good at. Here we have her announcement that she will not be running for governor in 2026. Bullet dodged, California. Oh, no, this is not the actual announcement, but this is a montage of all of her worst moments, apparently.
Poor hubby. Poor hubby.
He knows how to sell right there. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh, dude, that goes on for another like 2 minutes. Can you believe that? Can you imagine if we had to endure that for 4 straight freaking years? Oh, we have some grok analysis. Based on verified linguistic analysis, the Flesch-Kincaid scores, Kamala Harris's vocabulary is more complex, 6th to 7th grade level, with 426 unique words per 1,000 and longer sentences. Trump is simpler, 3rd or 4th grade, 408 unique words per 1,000. On vocabulary alone, Harris appears smarter. Ha ha! That is Grok's analysis. Do you agree with the AI? 5 hours ago, Polymarket, Kamala Harris announces presidential campaign this year. What are the odds? What are they saying? Polymarket says it's a 7% chance she'll announce by December 31st. And if you want to participate, you can actually buy in. This is what's crazy about Polymarket. People bet on everything. Yes for 7 cents or buy no for 94 cents. Like, these guys have just got to be raking in the cash. Sheesh. That's just nuts. Okay, let's keep going. We got some more juice to get into. Read, Newsom reportedly devising plan to saddle ratepayers with wildfire cleanup fees via Smart News. Clear schedule Kamala Harris. Here's Laura Ingraham. She's not running for governor, so she'll have more time to testify before the House Oversight Committee. I love you, James Comer.
About Joe Biden.
Congressman, are you going to subpoena someone like a Kamala Harris?
I think that's another great thing about Kamala Harris not running for governor. She's going to have more time to come before the House Oversight Committee and testify about Joe Biden's cognitive decline. So I think the odds of Kamala Harris getting a subpoena are very high.
Congressman?
The odds of Kamala Harris getting a subpoena are very, very high. Oh, and 12 hours ago, Kamala Harris dropping this post on X. What the world saw on the campaign trail was only part of the story. I'm going to try and give you like my best movie, like trailer voice. What the world saw on the campaign trail was only part of the story. My new book is a behind-the-scenes look at my experience leading the shortest presidential campaign in modern history. 107 Days is out on September 23rd. The world will never be the same. Yeah, here we go.
Writing. Just over a year ago, I launched my campaign for President of the United States. 107 days, traveling the country, fighting for our future. The shortest presidential campaign in modern history. It was intense, high stakes, and deeply personal for me and for so many of you. Since leaving office, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on those days, talking with my team, my family, my friends, and pulling my thoughts together. In essence, writing a journal that is this book, 107 Days. With candor and reflection, I've written a behind-the-scenes account of that journey.
Yeah, no one believes you, Kamala. You had that book ghostwritten, I'm sure. And I'm probably like right on point with that. Yeah. You're gathering all your thoughts. No, you should probably be gathering all the receipts. How much money did you spend? How much did you pay? What was there? Oprah, right? All the other celebrities. But I think we should just go back and say, yeah, Mel Gibson for governor. Mel Gibson for governor, right? What do you think? You got value from this report, tab subscribe. My final thought is next. So Kamala is playing chess while everyone thinks she's playing checkers. She announces she won't run for California governor, then drops a book about her failed campaign. The timing is not a coincidence. Polymarket traders are betting she'll announce a 24 presidential run, a presidential run, but it's pretty low odds. Why? Well, Biden's cognitive decline is undeniable. House Republicans want her under oath about what she knew and when. Laura Ingraham says subpoenas are coming with very high odds. Meanwhile, California Democrats, their bench is collapsing. Newsom facing federal investigation over wildfire land grabs. Mel Gibson's exposing the Maui playbook being used in Pacific Palisades with California radioactive and Biden fading. Kamala's positioning for something bigger. A book tour creates nationwide visibility. A victim narrative reframes her failures. The establishment needs a backup plan. So here's the question. Will Kamala try to replace, will Kamala try to run again in the next election? Yes or no? Tell us below. And you can get your American Badass gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Okay, we got some super chats that came through. Let's see. I think this was Marshmallow, $10. Gary, thank you. Appreciate your vids and news. AJ Cruz, $5. Thank you. Elf of Courage. I have $25,000 worth of physical silver in my house. Okay, what's the address? Deep Red State. He's dropped, I should have pointed out, he dropped out $9.99. We do accept silver here, though, by the way. Deep Red State, $10. Love you, Gary. Keep working hard. Curio23 with a daily double. How did Burger King get Dairy Queen pregnant? He forgot to wrap his Whopper. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, let's get to the answer of that question. The answer was Earth in the balance. You got it right. Al Gore, Earth in the Balance, written after losing to Bush. At least Gore waited 8 years. Kamala's cashing in after only so many days, right? 107 days? All right, but that's how long our campaign was. Okay, we got some more big news coming out of the White House. Executive orders, Trump Doral, Trump's big ballroom. Yeah, this is so awesome. I'm excited for that. I think it's cool. What do you guys think? Do you think it's cool? Let's see. Where is this? I want to open up that. Oh, we got the pictures from the ballroom. Do we have? Where's the clip of her talking about the ballroom? We have Hamas. We got the hammer drop, slamming Social Security, Mexico, EU trade package, the massive deal, executive order. Todd, I know she talked about it in the opening. Oh, you know what? Because this is just the questions we clipped. Yep. That's why. Okay. Do we have... Todd, can you find that real quick? I know we didn't... Well, I guess I could play the open from our camera, because I know the opening statement was there. Let me see if I can just track that real quick, because we did post the full press conference. Let's see. Yeah, it wasn't in the questions, I remember now. Okay, let me just...
And Ethiopia.
Okay.
Or agreements with the United States.
Do you have it? Can you find just an isolated clip? Otherwise, I got to sort through this timeline here.
And capacity.
Okay, it's probably on rapid response.
And opening up foreign market access to investment rose by nearly 2% following take effect. The American economy of the next and company and ever designed for each of the 17 major drug and pharmaceutical companies in the United States. In recent weeks, President Trump has held several meetings with members of the White House staff, the National Park Service, the White House Military Office, and the United States Secret Service to discuss design features and planning. Your immediate attention to this vital national priority. Signed, President Donald J. Trump. Again, to the CEO of Eli Lilly. This letter, in its form, has been designed for each of the 17 major drug and pharmaceutical companies in the United States, and we're happy to provide you the full list. And I believe you will see all 17 letters popping on Truth Social very shortly, so you can look out for those, and I'm happy to take any further questions. Before we get to questions, I do have one other announcement from the...
Okay, I'll just... did you find an what? Well, I don't need it in just... What? Okay. Well, I've already got our... I got our angle up, so I'll just use our angle. Let me see here. Let's see. Let me just jump to the folder. Economy. Okay. There we go. Thank you, Alice Cersei, for that $9.99. We're at $79.94. We're going into the last segment of the program. So if you want to have your voice heard and help us get to $100 tonight, you know what to do. Before we get to that, about the big, beautiful ballroom, which president added the most square footage to the White House? Was it A, Harry Truman, total gut renovation; B, Taft's bathtub expansion; C, Obama's basketball court; D, Clinton's cigar humidor? All right, you guys answer that one. I want to see what you guys think. But let's get into Trump's huge ballroom. President Trump isn't just redecorating, he's rebuilding America from the White House out. A massive 90,000 square foot ballroom breaks ground this September, but that is only the symbol of something bigger. Behind closed doors, Trump is crushing it on trade. South Korea just agreed to invest $350 billion in American industry. The EU ponied up $600 billion. Japan's paying up. Mexico's getting hit with tariffs while negotiating. 17 countries got letters today. Make a deal or pay the price. Midnight deadline tonight, and Secretary Bessent says we're cutting the China deficit by $5 billion this year alone. Restaurant workers celebrating no tax on tips. From ballrooms to boardrooms, Trump is making deals. And the details will blow your mind. And so will the pictures of this big, beautiful ballroom. Now, if you're getting close to retirement or just thinking ahead, you've probably done a solid job of saving. But here's something most people don't consider. How much of that money is just sitting there in cash? It might feel safe, but holding too much cash guarantees one thing. You're losing purchasing power. Inflation eats away at it, and the dollar's value keeps slipping. That's why more people are looking at real assets like physical gold and silver to protect their savings, and Noble Gold Investment makes it easy. Visit nextnewsgold.com today. When you own real assets, you have real wealth. The number on the screen, 877-646-5347. You can give them a call. Talk to Colin. Tell him Gary said hello, or you just click the link in the description. So we've all heard rumors of this big, beautiful ballroom that President Trump wants to make. Yes, some balls are held for charity and some for fancy dress. But the balls that are held for pleasure are the balls I like the best, especially President Trump's balls. Let's go to the White House.
White House and from the president, we are proud to announce that the construction of the new White House ballroom will begin. For 150 years, presidents, administrations, and White House staff have longed for a large event space on the White House complex that can hold substantially more guests than currently allowed. President Trump has expressed his commitment to solving this problem on behalf of future administrations and the American people. The White House is one of the most beautiful and historic buildings in the world. Yet the White House is currently unable to host major functions, honoring world leaders in other countries without having to install a large and unsightly tent approximately 100 yards away from the main building's entrance. The White House State Ballroom will be a much-needed and exquisite addition of approximately 90,000 total square feet of innately designed and carefully crafted space with a seated capacity of 650 people, which is a significant increase from the 200-person seated capacity in the East Room of the White House. In recent weeks, President Trump has held several meetings with members of the White House staff, the National Park Service, the White House Military Office, and the United States Secret Service to discuss design features and planning. President Trump has chosen McCreary Architects as the lead architect, which is well known for their classical architectural design and based right here in our nation's capital. The construction team will be headed by Clark Construction, and the engineering team will be led by AECOM. The project will begin in September 2025, and it is expected to be completed long before the end of President Trump's term. President Trump and other donors have generously committed to donating the funds necessary to build this approximately $200 million structure. The United States Secret Service will provide the necessary security enhancements and modifications. The White House ballroom will be substantially separated from the main building of the White House, but at the same time, its theme and architectural heritage will be almost identical. The site of the new ballroom will be where the small, heavily changed and reconstructed East Wing currently sits. The East Wing was constructed in 1902 and has been renovated and changed many times, with a second story added in 1942. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles has provided the following statement. President Trump is a builder at heart and has an extraordinary eye for detail. The President and the Trump White House are fully committed to working with the appropriate organizations to preserve the special history of the White House while building a beautiful ballroom that can be enjoyed by future administrations and generations of Americans to come. In the White House, we will continue to provide the American public and all of you in the press with updates on this project at whitehouse.gov/visit. And if you go there shortly, you will be able to see renderings and visuals of what this ballroom will look like, both the exterior and the interior. I have provided some photos for all of you in the room today. This is the interior of the ballroom space. It's quite beautiful. And then this is the exterior of the ballroom space. As you can see, it will come off of the executive mansion as it sits today, and the East Wing will be modernized and renovated. We're happy to answer any further questions on that, Jennifer. Since you're so eager, I will go to you, but first, as always, I want to start with our new media.
So there you have it. I wonder what they're going to call it. Are they going to call it Trump's Big Beautiful Ballroom? I mean, is the future administration going to be like, oh, I can't go into the Trump ballroom. Ah, I hate Trump. Some like deranged leftist. Well, we won't let that happen, right? We will not let that happen. We do have some pictures here of the renderings. You saw her hold it up on screen, but we have the close-ups. Here is the 90,000 square foot ballroom at the White House that will begin in September. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so there is, wow. Holy cow. That is amazing. Okay, so there is, okay, so that's like the main White House that we all know. And then here is the East Wing that she was speaking about, and it will be off the back side of the East Wing, and it is going to maintain the architectural heritage of the White House itself. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be totally cool. Here is an interior rendering. Wow. That is going to be something to behold. Now, if you've ever been to Mar-a-Lago, the ballroom that they have there, absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I can tell you by standing on those floors at the Mar-a-Lago ballroom, yeah, you got to wear comfortable shoes. So I can only imagine what this floor is going to feel like after a few hours standing on it. But I would be honored to be there. I know any American would. And let's see, we have, okay, so here's another rendering of it. We have the White House as you know it, and then the East Wing, and then it's going to shoot off. Holy cow. It's going to be huge. And it looks like they're going to have like a big ramp, stair system on the outside. Okay, I totally know where this is. I can totally visualize it. I've been back there so many times. Here's another shot of the rendering. Pure Trump style, and only President Trump knows how to do this. It is going to be something else. And speaking of some of Trump's properties, we're learning this now from the White House, that the G20 may head to Trump Doral. Now, that's another beautiful property the president has. I've had the privilege of staying there several times for many conservative events, and now they're going to hold G20 possibly. Reports are swirling Trump will host the G20 at his own resort. When asked if he'll profit, Levitt says, we reject the premise entirely. We won't confirm yet. Announcement expected soon.
Yeah.
Just on the tariffs, what are the logistics for imposing those? Does the president have to sign an executive order tonight? What's the timing on that?
Yes, and he will be signing an executive order at some point this afternoon or later this evening. And as always, we'll keep you posted when that happens, and it will be released from our office.
And there's some of these countries that have they all had contact with U.S. officials, or are there some countries that are going to get letters that have had no opportunity to negotiate with the United States?
Well, there's a lot of countries that I know have reached out. I believe it's upwards of 200 countries around the world have reached out to the trade and tariff team. Of course, as I said previously, and the president said, we're going to prioritize our key trading partners, which we have done. Like I said, of the 18, 2/3 of those we have cut these tailor-made deals with. But I do know that the trade team has been working around the clock to try to be in correspondence with as many countries as possible. But if they haven't heard from us yet, they will in the form of a letter or an executive order by midnight tonight.
Well, apparently that was the wrong clip, so I apologize. Here is the executive order incoming.
You can go ahead. We'll go to the back. Sure, go ahead. In the back left. Thank you. Amanda, yes.
Thank you very much. I have a talk to ask about the U.S.
Amanda, you can go ahead.
U.S. and South Korea tariff negotiations. At the tariff negotiation between South Korea and the United States concluded yesterday. President Trump stated on his SNS, Truth Social, that he would announce the specific details of the investment in the United States. at the South Korea United States summit in 2 weeks. My question is this tariff negotiation a final agreement or is further negotiation necessary?
Well, yes, as you know, the president met with representatives of the Republic of South Korea here at the White House yesterday, and they did in fact reach a deal. And South Korea will pay a 15% tariff rate, including 15% on autos, while providing historic market access to American goods like autos and rice. Korea will purchase $100 billion in American energy by 2028. And the centerpiece of this deal is that South Korea has agreed to invest $300.
Wait a second. Wait, what did she say? Is South Korea going to be importing American rice?
Korea here at the White House yesterday, and they did in fact reach a deal. And South Korea will pay a 15% tariff rate, including 15% on autos, while providing historic market access to American goods like autos and rice. Korea
Only President Trump can sell rice to Asia. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Next thing you know, President Trump is going to be selling snow to Eskimos. Oh, yeah, baby. The art of the deal. Okay. Let's keep going. Trump lands a $600 billion EU deal. Let's see if this clip lines up.
Tariff rate,
Deanna.
Thanks, Caroline. For the countries that don't have a deal yet, should we be looking at the April 2nd chart at all? Or is he negotiating and talking about having a set tariff rate, 10%, 20%?
Those discussions are taking place with the trade team today, and again, we'll provide further guidance with that executive order once it is signed, and the answer to that question will be in that executive order.
Is he looking to provide any more extensions today after his phone call with Mexico? Is there any other conversations like that?
I do know that other foreign leaders around the world have reached out, and if the president decides to share the conclusions of those calls with all of you, he will do so himself. But I do want to reiterate what the president said about Mexico. Mexico is still paying tariffs. They're paying a 25% tariff on fentanyl, 25% tariff on cars, a 50% tariff on steel, aluminum, and copper. And additionally, Mexico has agreed to immediately terminate its non-tariff trade barriers, of which there are many. And as the president said, we will continue to talk to Mexico over the next 90 days with the goal of signing a larger trade deal. The key to this, again, is Mexico has agreed to terminate those non-tariff barriers and to continue to work with us in good faith. Mexico is a very unique situation of all the other countries around the world because, of course, we share our southern border with Mexico, which we've seen an increase in cooperation between Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum and our administration on clamping down on drug trafficking and human trafficking at the southern border. We appreciate those efforts and will continue to work in good faith and to continue.
Okay, we are going to keep trying to break it down. I got to find that clip where they're talking about the, what the heck, man? This is my fault. We're doing it live, baby. We are doing it live. Do I have clip 514? Well, where the hell is it? There's 614, 714, 814, 1014, 1114, 1214, 414, 314. I'm looking for 514. Okay, well, maybe not. We're going to see if I can find it in the actual thread. Good God. 514.
Caroline,
Emily, in a new seat today.
Thanks, Caroline. I wanted to ask about this report that the president wants to host a G20 meeting at Trump Durrell. How is he going to do that, considering all the preparations that have been going on in South Africa? And also, would that be seen as his businesses possibly profiting from hosting this kind of meeting?
I would reject that premise entirely. We have announcements and details forthcoming on the G20, but my understanding is no firm announcement is ready to be made at this time. I did see the report, but we're not in a place to confirm it just yet.
Well, I hope you got some value from those other clips. Finally found the clip I was looking for. Yeah, it's been a wild day over here. Wild day. Okay, what else have we got to show you today in this segment? I'm not even going to try to show any of my own clips because God only knows. President Trump said his tariffs have completely turned the tide. He was right all along. Tariffs are making America great and rich again. They were successfully used against the USA for decades, and coupled with really dumb, pathetic, crooked politicians, were having a devastating impact on the future and even survival of our country. President Trump, thank you for securing $165 billion in funding for DHS.
Per year. And $165 billion is allocated to the Department of Homeland Security over the next several years. And much of that is specifically earmarked for ICE. About $75 billion will go to ICE on top of its existing annual budget of roughly $10 billion per year. And of that sum, $30 billion will be allocated for the hiring and training of new ICE agents, as well as the retention of those who take the job. The bill also funds drastically increased detention space for illegal aliens, and proponents of the legislation said that it was critical in ICE's attempt to deport its target of 1 million illegal aliens per year. And it also paved the way for lucrative sign-on bonuses for new agents. Certain agents can receive a maximum of $50,000 in sign-on bonuses. $165 billion.
Okay, what else do we got here? Let's see, where is the next position? Trump slapping 25% tariff on India, but Apple's iPhone plan rolls on. New tariffs, higher costs. Apple still all in on India despite a 25% import tax on Indian goods. 71% of U.S. iPhones now shipped from India, up from 31% a year ago. Here we have from the United States Trade, POTUS trade program incentivizes.
So again, the Europeans agreed to an additional, $600 billion in investment over and above, the $100 billion that we would expect over time. And so again, the Commerce Department, will be working with the Europeans to monitor these developments. Our expectation, and frankly, European companies' desire, is that they come here for a lot of greenfield investment. In other words, new investment for new factories to service this market. Remember, we're keeping a 15% tariff on the European Union, and so it's naturally in the interest of European companies to come in, build here for this market. And we welcome that kind of investment where it's a new factory with new jobs, and that we expect to be coming.
If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is what America First looks like. While critics mock Trump's tariff threats, he just secured over $1 trillion in foreign investment. South Korea alone commits $350 billion, with 90% of profits going to pay down our debt. EU coughs up $600 billion. Japan cuts deals on autos and energy. Even Mexico agrees to terminate non-tariff barriers while paying 25% on fentanyl and cars. And the 90,000 square foot ballroom isn't vanity. It's where the deals get made. DHS gets $165 billion for deportation. Workers keep their tips tax-free. The presidential fitness test return. American manufacturing running back. Foreign countries either invest here or pay tariffs that fund our renaissance. The midnight deadline hits tonight. More countries will fold. So the question is, should Trump demand $1 trillion minimum from China in trade negotiations? Yes or no? Answer below. And you can shop at nextnewsnetwork.com, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, where you can trigger a liberal today with our Alligator Alcatraz shirt, our President Otto Pen shirt, or our American Badass series, all linked below. Okay, that last segment was a bit of a cluster. My apologies. Some things got mixed up in translation. I only have myself to blame for that. I can't point the finger at anybody here tonight but me. Okay, let's see. Alice Searcy, Mel Gibson for Governor of California. Thank you, Alice. $9.99. R. Boyd, take my money. Keep up the great work, G. Thank you, R. Boyd. And Something Wong, son, $5 from Something Wong, son. Alice Searcy dropping again for Trump's ball renovations. Yeah. Yes, some balls are held for charity, and some for fancy dress. We're at $114.93. Let's see what is going on in the big chat. We're going to check in on the main big feed. Let's see here. Sake of respect for constitutional law is a vital principle. Yes. Thank you, Scott. Good morning from Nepal. What's up, Dinah to Die? Good to see you. Am I saying that right? Is that the right pronunciation? Thank you, Todd, for the shout outs from the N3 community. Good to see y'all in here. 2012 levels are insane. It needs to go back to 2050 levels. Podhead Kenny is out the door. Podhead Kenny has left the building. Karen Finley, great show, Gary. Thank you. Something Wong, Nepalese in the house. Some people are in such utter darkness that they have to burn you just to see light. Try not to take it personally. N3 for life. Great episode, Gary. All right. 2 hours ago, FBI Director Kash Patel announces more damaging files will be released regarding the Trump-Russia hoax, and you can make damn sure we will be tracking it. People were asked, how did you know you weren't going to get the job during the interview? The replies are hilarious. I don't even want to know. These tweets are still up. She posted this while knowing it was all a lie. Computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking the Trump organization to Russian-based bank. All lies. Man. It should concern every American that Russia is willing to engage in such hostile acts in order to help Donald Trump become president, Hillary Clinton. You know what's the saddest part about this? Is that there are people that are going to be in such denial that they will never, ever believe it. Even when the documents are presented right in their face. Kash Patel declassified documents, committees, stamped of approval. I mean, people will take Hillary's word no matter what as the gospel truth. Even when her own consultants are sending messages saying Hillary has approved something, like we brought to your attention today. Their denial is so deep and so thick. They're just, I mean, it really comes down to them being deceived. And I also think it comes down to them just not wanting to admit that they're right or that they're wrong. Because that means you're right. How many people did you try to share the truth with, and they just kept pushing back talking points from CNN or MSNBC, and you end up losing friends, you get in fights with family members over all this stuff. And imagine bringing this information back to them now. They're going to have every excuse in the book not to believe any of it. Oh, that's from that Kash Patel. He's the Trump guy, right? Oh, this is just Trump lying again. Oh, okay. Well, here's the document in case you want to read it. Get it out of my face. You know, that's really the biggest problem we have in this country. I mean, we have the liars and we have the truth tellers, and then we have the people that will stop at nothing to defend the liars and their own pride. It's quite sad. TDS runs deep. They refuse to listen is true. Cash has lizard eyes. My cousin won't talk to me anymore because of facts. Yes, Karen, I know how that feels. People today fight hard to stay dumb. The lefty believes memes before real documents. Well, lefties they can't even meme though, AJ. They're brainwashed. Yep, sheep. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. Thomas Jefferson. They're too embarrassed to articulate why. That's right, Menu. Well, that's our show tonight, but I want to get to our trivia answer. It was Harry Truman, a total gut renovation. You got it right. The White House was literally falling apart, and now Trump is adding 90,000 square feet of pure diplomatic power. So that is our show. What a show we've had. The truth bombs just kept dropping, and you were here to witness history. We started with the ultimate vindication, Hillary Clinton's Russia hoax officially confirmed by the White House, 9 years of lies unraveled in the declassified documents. And now we know the architect behind it all, the one who whispered in Hillary's ear, who Hillary confirmed, and then Obama carried out. When the CIA director admitted that they accelerated the hoax against President Trump, Hillary approved it, financed it, and weaponized our intelligence agencies to steal an election. Justice is finally coming. And then we exposed Nancy Pelosi's insider trading empire, $13 million on government salary, 70% returns that doubled Warren Buffett. The PELOSI Act moving through Congress because even Democrats can't defend this corruption anymore. And speaking of Democrats falling, Elizabeth Warren practically face planted on the Senate floor, and you can't make it up. We revealed Trump's health revolution launching today, the presidential fitness test returning to schools nationwide, 17 big pharma giants getting ultimatums, slashing prices or facing consequences. A digital health ecosystem merging big tech with your medical data. Some see innovation, others see surveillance. That's what I see. Either way, America is getting healthier and big pharma is getting humbled. Kamala Harris, the good news is she won't run for California governor, but she's dropping a mysterious book hint about another move. With Biden fading and the House subpoenas coming, she's repositioning for something. Yes, California dodged one bullet while Newsom drowns in wildfire scandals. The Democrat bench isn't just weak, it's collapsing, and Trump's trade victory is mind-blowing. Over $1 trillion in foreign investment secured, South Korea, Japan, the EU all paying up or investing big. And the 90,000 square foot White House ballroom symbolizes the new American dominance. Countries had until midnight also to pay the deal, to deal or pay. No tax on tips for workers, $165 billion for border security. This is what winning looks like. So to everyone who sent in super chats and Rumble rants, you guys are the fuel that keeps this truth machine running. $119.93 tonight. Thanks, guys. It's your support in the chat, your shares that help us bypass the censorship. It's your refusal to accept mainstream media lies. That is what makes the raw feed unstoppable. So tell a friend about what you learned today, even that one that won't listen. Maybe test the waters. Maybe they're softening up. Maybe text them a link or just share it to your social media. Remember, the algorithm cannot stop word of mouth. And if you want to support this channel, you can hit up the merch shop, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, where your support for real journalism, every purchase helps us stay independent. And we'll be back tomorrow with more explosive revelations. The deep state's secrets keep spilling, the establishment's crimes keep surfacing, and we will be here live with you documenting every moment of America's great restoration. Next week is going to be a little shorter week, I should tell you. I have the privilege of attending Ron Paul's 90th birthday. I will be attending among a list of VIPs that I'm just absolutely humbled to be counted with. And I will be delivering a toast on the main stage to the great doctor. I'm looking forward to that moment, because I would not be in this chair if it weren't for Aaron Russo, Ron Paul, all of our viewers, my production team, Brian, all these years working tirelessly behind the scenes. My wife, everybody, it's all, and you guys, the viewers, for following all these years, sharing our work. So that's going to be next week. They've asked me to do my show live from the VIP room. So we're trying to work out the logistics of how that would work. And that show would be live on next Saturday. They're going to be doing a live stream of the entire event. I think it's going to be like 10 hours long from my last conversation with them. So we're going to do what we can to try to simulcast that here at the Next News Network. They've asked us specifically to do so. There's going to be a Ron Paul money bomb, just like back in the old days. So if you want to contribute to the real, the man behind the movement of freedom and liberty in the modern age, that's coming up on Saturday. So a lot of opportunity to help break new ground, plant new seeds, all happening next Saturday. Super excited. What, Brian? Oh, yes, and Brett. Yeah, so Brett will also be back. He'll be back in studio, and he will be covering on, I believe, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I might need him on Tuesday. I'm not sure, because I have something going on Tuesday. That's news to you, Todd. So anyway, I just want to get you guys up to speed on what next week's going to look like. It's going to be super exciting. And just make sure you tune in for it. So thank you for joining the Raw Feed. Thank you for standing for truth. Thank you for being digital soldiers in this information war. Until next time, I'm Gary Franchi, reminding you, stay strong, stay informed, and keep fighting for the America that we love. We'll see you on the next show.